Hey, Kage back again. And today we're gonna discuss Ubisoft once again. They just keep making decisions that make me really consider the hell are they doing up there on the top. But let's get into this article and then I'll share my thoughts on it. Ubisoft reportedly cancelled Immortal Fenyx Rising sequel to prioritize Assassin's Creed Red. It was recently reported that the sequel of Immortal Fenyx Rising had been cancelled amid a reallocation of resources within the studio. However, it is now being said that Assassin's Creed Red might be the reason behind the decision. Through VGC, it was said that Ubisoft abandoned plans to develop the sequel of Immortal Fenyx Rising mainly due to the hindrances surrounding the IP. The game was reportedly around the Hawaiian Polynesian culture, and Ubisoft intended to turn it into a franchise. However, here's the statement from the company regarding the cancellation of the highly anticipated sequel. As part of our global strategy, we are redirecting and reallocating some creative teams and resources within the Quebec studio to other unannounced projects. The expertise and technologies these teams developed will serve as an accelerator for the development of these key projects focused on our biggest brands. We have nothing further to share at this time. While the company didn't confirm what the future unannounced projects were, it is now being said that Ubisoft has shifted its attention towards Assassin's Creed Red. Axios journalist Stephen Totillo disclosed anonymous sources saying that the studio responsible for Immortals Fenyx Rising Quebec has started working on Assassin's Creed Red. So first, unannounced projects is probably another 7 Assassin's Creeds. At this point, Assassin's Creed series is becoming like Call of Duty series. Let's just dish out a mediocre game every year. More like any sports game out there. Mediocre versions of the same game over and over again, just with a different skin. And then actual settings where Assassin's Creed would be nicely explored and all, they make them into a mobile. Like the Chinese setting one, the Jade, I heard it's in mobile. It's like, come on, that's one of the settings they could have used for an actual full-on title instead of a mobile game. But it's Ubisoft. Also, cancelling Fenyx. The one game they recently made that was, well, recently, it was a while back, but a game that was actually good. It was different. Yeah, it had elements from Zelda, but in general, it was a good game. You had stuff to do depending on how you engage with the world around, with the vaults and everything. You might have gotten a lot of hours in the game, or you might have finished it real quick. The main quests are not that much. Fairly easily, you could finish them in, I don't know, 10 hours, let's say. Point is, wasn't that long of a story. It was all the other stuff you could do in the game that made it, for me, 30 plus hours. And then they cancel about the Hawaiian culture gods, something that there ain't many games that take on that type of setting. And in all honesty, in overall, I haven't encountered the Hawaiian culture anywhere that much, so taking up kind of their gods and stuff would have been something fresh, something new, at least from the setting standpoint. But no, they rather cancel that game and let's dish out another Assassin's Creed. I used to like Assassin's Creed, but nowadays it's just the same game, different skin. The open world feels just the same as it did in Like Vikings open world, for example, felt the same as like Odyssey. It's like Ubisoft had this one plan sheet of what an open world is, stamped it, that's the open world type, nothing else. So they keep making the same type of open worlds, the same type of boring games. Okay, Assassin's Creed may be boring is a tad too much. They are fun in their own right, but at this rate, people are gonna burn out from playing Assassin's Creed constantly. They used to innovate the series, but now the last few Assassin's Creeds have felt gameplay-wise the same as anything else. It's like you open up Call of Duty, you expect to shoot in a certain way, and the next Call of Duty has the same. It's the same as with Assassin's Creed nowadays. You play one, you play the next 5. There's nothing much of innovation or any changes in general. I kinda miss the times where Assassin's Creed were about assassination, as the name implies, where you could just assassinate and be done with it. Instead of now, assassinations may not work. Sorry about it. The assassinations may not work because I guess the enemy had a bit too much defense for your assassination to work. It's not an insta-kill. Of course, now the games have the option to do that. You can turn an option that will be like assassinations insta-kill and stuff, but it's like it plays more like a RPG, like I don't know, like let's say God of War, where you just action combat and be done with it. Not really assassins. There's no real point sneaking around anymore like an assassin would. You just walk up, kill him, go away. But I guess those are the type of games they want to sell. And in so, people will get bored. There's only so many Assassin's Creeds you can dish out until people get bored of them. Okay, let's read the rest of the article. In response, Steven also says that Ubisoft has bet its future on AC projects, and the relocation mentioned by the company is for projects involving AC Code Red and Code Hex. While we believe this decision would enhance the end product delivered by Ubisoft, Immortal Fenyx Rising generated its own fans when it released in 2020. Ubisoft never discussed detailed sales figures, though they did say the game's performance was solid and it benefited from one of the highest community sentiments as a Ubisoft game has ever had. While the details surrounding Assassin's Creed Red are thin, it was recently reported that the game is slated for 2024 in March. It was said that the game would feature 2 playable characters, a female samurai and a shinobi, an African refugee. Ubisoft's next Assassin's Creed franchise iteration, Assassin's Creed Mirage, is expected to launch on October 12th. Now Mirage actually looks fun. Like it goes back to being Assassin's Creed, what it used to be. But we'll see how Red turns out, or whatever other Assassin's Creeds they have in development. We have big issue is the fact that they're just dishing it out one after another. The same way with Skull and Bones. They had player feedback, they had everything they needed to make a successful game. What they do is make a disaster. It had potential, but Ubisoft ruined it. When it first got announced, I was excited, and then I saw all the trailers later on, and yeah, I don't care no more about that game. But talking about Immortal's Fenyx Rising, it was reviewed generally well across multiple platforms. It's like Why do you cancel something that people reviewed positively? One of the best games Ubisoft recently made. It was not a disaster. Instead, we're gonna cancel it so we can make some more Assassin's Creed, which people have had already like 20 of. Instead of giving a chance to some new IPs or a potential new franchise like Immortal Fenyx, but well, I guess there's no potential no more since they cancelled it. It's like, seriously, whoever keeps making these decisions is a moron. Instead of providing people with something that would be new, relatively new, interesting, something different from the usual, which would gather some people, instead we're gonna dish out something that worked in the past, which may or may not work, because people will get tired. Keep on dishing out Assassin's Creed after an Assassin's Creed, and you'll see the players will stop engaging with Assassin's Creed. As a personal preference to the Assassin's Creed, it should just stay in the universe that you are in. Like let's say, Valhalla, for example. I liked it as long as I was playing Ivor, but as soon as I had to go outside the Animus or whatever it was called, I dislike that part. Just keep in the world instead of the supposed modern days. Remove that whole thing and the game is nice. I've always disliked this modern day aspect to the Assassin's Creed. Just keep me in the time period that the character is being explored. It's just stupid in my opinion. But that's all about Ubisoft rant today. I'll see you guys next time.